Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how I built an influencer team, an international influencer team with millions of followers from all over the world, and how I use them for marketing purposes for my footwear company. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Tanner Markley. I own Off Axis. It is a footwear company and stunt show. We put on shows all over the country and we sell shoes all over the entire world, and we do that through influencer marketing. And I was also the one of the content creators and marketers for Razor before this. I was a social media manager, so I've been doing this for a decade now. I know what works and what does not work, and as someone who has acted as an agent for influencers, been an influencer myself on multiple platforms like YouTube and Instagram, and also have been the person that is running the brand and company, I see the ROIs and I see what works and I see what doesn't work, and hopefully you guys can take some value from this. And if you are a social media person or you're a new entrepreneur, I'm going to teach you guys how you guys can reach out to popular influencers. And it's crazy how far that we've come. Like, I'm working directly with my favorite UFC fighter from when I was first got into UFC. My favorite UFC fighter was always Tony Ferguson. Now I'm on I talk to him on a daily basis almost. And it's crazy how far we've come. And I'm going to talk to you guys about why we got to where we are, how I've scaled this team and grown a team of influencers, and what you should be looking out for and what does not work. Because a lot of people, a lot of companies, and a lot of big companies just get this budget and they just, we saw this at Razor, I've seen it all the time. We bring in a new marketing person, they get this budget, they just throw it out there. They're like, yeah, I got 20 influencers, we paid them $1,000 each. Well, that probably wasn't the greatest use, because most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, you do not get the return on your investment with an influencer. Why do you not get the return? Because you don't pick influencers who align with your brand. So, for example, the first time that I ever watched UFC, I was watching Tony Ferguson fight Kevin Lee for the interim championship. And this was the first UFC that I really watched. I know, I haven't been doing it for that long. I've probably been watching UFC for about 5 years or so. And I specifically remember hearing Joe Rogan say, the way Tony fights is extremely unorthodox. And he said some other things like that. And I was like, man, that's like the branding of my company, Off Axis, doing things unorthodox, because Off Axis is technically incorrect in gymnastics. If you're doing something off axis, you're technically doing it incorrect in gymnastics, and that's why I named my company Off Axis. And I was like, man, that guy would be like the perfect athlete to have on Off Axis. And 2 years later, we're working with him. He has a signature shoe through us. And it's not just Tony. Tony has referred people like Aljamain Sterling, who recently posted it and tagged us, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Shout out Tony for that one. Also, our acrobat team, I can absolute guarantee we have the best acrobat influencer team. We have people like Chantel Maranka, who's got about 100,000 followers. Vincent Kujana, who's a pro scooter rider. I can go on and on. If you look at the website, we have a pretty strong team of influencers. And why? One, because I've developed a rapport with a lot of these people, and that's the easiest way to get an influencer, is to already know them. And for me, it's easier because I actually do these things myself. So I've competed against these people, I've done shows with these people, and building a team around your friends is a lot easier than just reaching out to random people. I see a lot of brands who reach out to influencers and the brands do not align. For example, if I was a hair influencer, and I did hair on hair tutorials and stuff, probably wouldn't be the greatest for me to advertise my shoe brand on, right? And a lot of companies, it's as silly as it sounds, they do this. So if an influencer, for one, does not match your brand, it doesn't make any sense, and a lot of people do it. And frankly, the influencers make a ton of money off of this, and I'm just like, what? Because I reach out to people 4 to 5 different influencers every single day, and if they're not interested, or if they want to charge a large amount up front or something like this, I'm just not interested. I want them to organically like our product. If they don't like our product organically, and if they don't already use it, they're not a good influencer. When people reach out to me, For example, Tony even told me this. As soon as he started promoting our products, all of the other agents were going to start reaching out to me. I got like Jorge Masvidal and John Jones's agents and Conor McGregor's agents, and like everyone's reaching out to us. But I'm like, no, like Tony was a like one in a lifetime person for us, because his brand and my brand align. Like the way he fights matches perfectly for our branding. He does like tumbling and gymnastics and all that other stuff in his training, and breakdancing, and he actually likes this stuff. But almost anyone else on the UFC roster, it doesn't really make too much sense for me to use them as an influencer. Does that make sense to you guys? If you guys are finding value from this, make sure you smash that like button for me. If someone buys your product and then reaches out for sponsorship, I'm 10 times more likely to sponsor this athlete. I don't even care if they only have a few thousand followers. They organically like our product, and they're organically reaching out to us. Like, for example, the Tiege Hanley brand that, Tiege Hanley brand that sponsors my YouTube channel. Tiege Hanley is it's a skincare routine for men, makes it very simple, and I've been using them since before they reached out to me, and they just randomly reached out to me. So I was like, hell yeah, this makes perfect sense for Tiege Hanley to sponsor me, because I already use them, and frankly, I'm advertising them basically for free because I actually like the product and I actually use it. And if a company reaches out to me, for example, there's tons of people that reach out to me, and if their brand doesn't align with mine, I don't even bother with it. Or if like, especially if like clothing lines reach out to me, I'm like, no, I have a clothing line, I'm not going to do that. So building an influencer team can take a long time, and it is important that you do not rush it, because if you try to rush your influencer team, you're going to end up wasting a ton of money. And I would highly suggest not paying influencers unless it's like instead of paying someone like $1,000 up front, unless they identically match your brand, it doesn't really make any sense to do that. And a lot of people are starting their new clothing lines, and this guy came to us the other day at the skate park. He's like, how do you find all these athletes that you're using in these videos? Because we're shooting a footwear commercial. And I was like, well, one, I do it myself, and two, like, I'm using these people for shows, and I've known them for years. So it's like an organic team that I put together. And having an organic team of influencers is it's like 20 times better. You will receive a 20 times better return on your investment than if you have a bunch of influencers who you reached out and say, hey, I'll pay you $1,000 for a story post. It's almost every single time you are not going to get that return on investment. And I've seen it many times from both sides of the spectrum, from the influencer side and from the brand side. It just almost always doesn't work out. And having people like who don't actually like your products promoting you, their audience can see that. And I've seen it before on my own YouTube channel. If I'm promoting something that my audience isn't going to actually use, they're not going to buy it, you know? When I had the Para sponsorship, because I had a Doordash YouTube channel where I teach people tricks and stuff like that, this app sponsored us, and it was like supposed to help out people to make more money on DoorDash. It made perfect sense. We sold thousands of memberships because the brand identically was so similar to my brand, and it worked perfect. So if you guys are starting a brand, or you guys are a social media marketer, hopefully you guys found some value from this. Let me know in the comments down below. Have you guys ever tried influencer marketing? Honestly, like for the last 3 months, because my Facebook advertisements were cut, because I couldn't advertise on Facebook because my Facebook account got hacked, which turned down to I can't advertise on Instagram or Facebook because my personal Facebook got hacked. So all we've been doing for the last 3 months was doing influencer marketing, and I've really figured out a ton of different ways to reach out to influencers, and organically is always the way to go. You do not want to have and one last thing to really throw in there is like, the reason like Tony probably works with me is because, one, I'm a really hard worker, and two, the first time I met Tony, I helped him build his gym. Like, that's like I'm not gonna just like offer him a payment or something like that. I tried to do my absolute best to show him value help him out. Like, what can I do for you, or what can you do for this person, rather than like try to jump to a sale. You know, you don't give a girl your number and say, hey, do you want to go to bed with me? You know, you say, like, you try to add value to their situation first. And if you can do that, people are going to want to work with you. So anyways, if you guys enjoy these videos at all, please consider subscribing, smash that like button. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Go to my footwear company. You can check out my influencer team at offaxisathletics.com. Use the discount code OFFAXISTANNER for 30% off these awesome skate shoes. They just came out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.